Claude Code can now generate full motion graphic videos from just a text prompt. So our graphic designers and video editors are going to be the latest victim on the Claude Code hit list. So Remotion just dropped a set of skills that allows Claude to build videos by writing code. You can then edit them scene by scene, frame by frame, just by telling Claude what to change. If you're not familiar with Remotion, it's a framework that lets you create videos programmatically using React. So instead of dragging stuff around on your video timeline, you're writing lines of code instead. And every frame of the video basically becomes a React component. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can set it up, and then we'll build something together so you can see what it's actually capable of. Getting this set up for yourself is actually surprisingly easy. Now, the first thing that we're going to have to do is grab the command for installing the skills. And if you don't know what skills are, think of them as like a playbook, which is going to tell Claude Code exactly how to use the tool. And it also makes it super repeatable. So if you're doing this over and over again, you can just reference the skill rather than having to give Claude a big detailed prompt every time you want to use it. Now I'm going to put this command down in the comments to see if you haven't hunt around for it. So we're going to copy this here. We now need to open up a new terminal so we can run the command that we just copied over. So if you're on Mac, Command Spacebar will open Spotlight. From there you can type in terminal and enter that to open it. So I'm going to make this bigger so you can see what's going on. We're going to paste the command in the command line here and we're going to run that. And you should see skills. Repository cloned, found one skill, Remotion best practices. So that is all good. Now, detected 26 agents, what does that mean? Well, you can select all agents or specific ones. So if you go specific, you can see anti-gravity, Claude Code, Claude Bot, but we're going to back out of that because we just want to install all. That's what I would recommend. Installation scope, this is whether you want to install the skill at global level or project level. So if you install it at project level, you're only going to be able to use the skill in this project that you're creating. Whereas if you install it globally, then you're going to be able to use it across all of your different projects. So I definitely recommend going with global. Now, installation method, symlink's fine, and proceed with installation. So you can see that's all worked nicely. It installed one skill to 26 agents. So what I now want you to do is copy over the second command, which again, I'm going to put down in the description. But I'm going to grab it from remotion.dev. You can see the command here. And this is the command for actually creating our new video project. So I'm going to paste that in. And it's now going to ask us to choose a template. So you want to be choosing blank, which is the very top one here. So enter that. And then give it a name. So I'm going to call this Remotion Demo. Add Tailwind CSS, yes. Add agent skills, yes. And then finally that should create our project for us. So it's asking me if I want to open it up in Cursor, which is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be running this inside of Cursor, so hit yes to do that. It's going to open up our project. So you can see here on the left hand side that it's created a bunch of different files for us. So you can delete some of these if you want to. We don't need Gemini, we don't need Codex, but I'm just going to leave everything as is for now. So I'm going to close this down and I'm going to open up a new terminal and I'm going to run the command for Claude. So do we trust the files? Yes, that's fine. And now we're running Claude and Claude has access to all of our files in this project. So what I'm going to say is, hey Claude, I just created a new skill for Remotion. We're going to be creating some motion graphic videos. So I want you to really read all of the files in the project to fully understand how to use this skill. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Once you've done that, we'll plan the project, what we're going to actually build, and we'll take it from there. So I'm going to run that whilst that ticks over. So you can see here that Claude has read all the different files in the project. It's read the skills and understands what we're asking for. And it's confirming that here. Now I'm ready to plan what we'll build. What kind of motion graphic video are you thinking? So what we're going to be building is effectively an advert for my AI agency. So what I'm going to say is, hey Claude, I want to build a motion graphic video advert for my AI agency, leadhook.co. So what I want you to do is, first of all, visit leadhook.co with your web search tool so you understand the AI agency, my web page, the different copy, the brand, and then come back to me once you've done that. So now we're asking it to actually go and take a look at my website and grab the information which it needs. So once it's done that, we're going to then build out the project, what we want it to do, the aesthetic, everything that we want to kind of include. If we want it to grab any specific assets for the project, then we can have it do that as well. So I'm going to let this run. So you can see here it says, I've reviewed your website. Here's what I've gathered about leadhook.co, brand summary, all my different stuff which I have on my agency website. So it's now saying I'm ready to plan the video, a few questions to shape the creative direction. So duration, that's fine, primary goal, style preference, brand colors, any assets. Yeah, hey Claude, so for the duration, I'm thinking around 20 seconds will be perfect. The primary goal is to drive awareness and get new customers. The style preference, definitely minimalistic, although I do want it to be futuristic and on par with my brand's design. Brand colours, I'm going to give you the hex codes for my brand's colours, and I'm also going to give you screenshots of the website so that you understand my brand's visual aesthetic. I will drop in the logo as well, and if you need anything else, be sure to let me know. So I'm going to send that off, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come over to my agency website, and I'm going to grab a screenshot of this so that it understands the colour schemes and everything that we're working with here. So I'm going to drag and drop that in, and then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to grab some more screenshots here of the different sections, and I'm also going to grab a screenshot of my agency's logo so that I can use that as an asset in the video. So I think that should cover everything that we need. I'm sure Claude will come back to us with any questions. So it's saying here, sounds great. Here's what I'm expecting from you. Hex codes, your brand's colours, screenshot, logo file, that's all fine. So I'm going to say main colour is dark navy blue, and the primary accent colour is hex code 15 EDA3. So I'm going to send that off. It now has the images of my website, it knows the colours, so we're going to see what it comes back with. So it's come back here saying this is great, I now have a clear picture of your brand identity captured, it's got the colours, visual style, proposed 20-second video structure, so it's broken it down, hook, problem, pain point, solution, brand reveal, and call to action. So it's asking if this structure works, and do you have a separate logo file, PNG with transparency, which I do have, so I'm going to grab that. So I'm just going to say, hey Claude, yeah, that style is working for me nicely. The hook, the pain point, and the problem, the solution that we provide, the brand reveal and the call to action is all perfect, exactly what I was looking for. I'm going to go and grab the transparent background version of my logo so that you have that on hand as well to use as an asset in the video. So I'm going to go and grab the logo, and then I'm going to paste that in, and we're going to come back and see what Claude says in a second. So I've grabbed that logo, so I'm going to enter that off and let Claude get to work, and we're going to see what it comes back with. So really what we're doing here is just iterating back and forth, so Claude has a real clear picture of what it is that we're trying to achieve. If you don't give it the right information at the start, it's not going to be able to execute on the task effectively. It's the same as everything with AI. It's only as good as the input. So Claude's now asking us for our approval to run the command for starting our local server. So we're going to hit yes to that, and that should launch localhost where we can see our video. So that's exactly what's happened. You can see here. So let's see what it's actually put together for us. So okay, so is that perfect? No, but as a first pass, I don't think it's too bad. I'm not a graphic designer, and I'm sure that you aren't either. So even that at that level would have taken me hours to put together. So this is spun up in literally minutes. Now, I think what you also need to remember is we didn't really give it that much information, right? We gave it a little bit. We told it about our brand's colours and stuff, which you can see it's executed on perfectly. So the more information which you put in, the better your outcome is going to be. And Remotion talk about that heavily on their X account, and also in their documentation. It has a heap of different best practices on how to get the desired outcome that you're after. But first, I want to talk about what's actually going on here. So you can see as we move along the timeline, you can see the numbers here, and they're changing as the slider moves along. So what is that? Well, that's the number of frames, right? So if you remember back to the start of the video, the way this actually works is Remotion and Claude together are effectively creating React components for every single frame of the video. and it's then stitching everything back together to give us our final product. So that's interesting, and again, we can really pinpoint which frames we don't like. This is great for editing. If we want to go back to Claude and say, I'm not happy with frame 49 on clip 3, then we can absolutely do that and really go back and forth until we're happy with the outcome. So I think this is a really cool concept, and I think what you have to remember as well is this has only been out for a few days, right? So this is a starting point. Is this going to be taking over the jobs of graphic designers? No, right now, absolutely not. However, I've seen some other examples online where people have built some really cool stuff using this exact framework. So I went back to Claude and I had it research some best practices for elite graphic designers and the kind of general framework which they use when they're creating their videos. Now, I asked it to implement that into a revised video, which is done. So we're going to take a look at that now. And I think this is a much better video that we've got this time. So let's take a look. So that's much better. Is it perfect? No, it's still, there's still some things that we could improve on here. I noticed that it kind of goes up to like 106 and then it comes back down to 100, but I think overall it's an improvement and it shows the kind of general process of iterating back and forth until you're happy with what it's spitting out. So I think this is a really cool tool and I think you should go and take a look online as well, and especially take a look at the Remotion X page because they've got some good tutorials on how you can actually build things out. And all of the content which they put out, they've generated with their own system. So you can really see how in-depth and advanced you can make this if you put the time into the input on the front end. So I think that's going to be everything for this video. I hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, I think this is a great tool. Is it going to be stealing the job of graphic designers? Certainly not in the short term, but I think as we progress and this gets better and better and better, which it no doubt will, then yeah, you couldn't rule out in the future that this could be as good as an elite graphic designer. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.